In this episode, we'll be putting skid marks on our 5th generation 4Runner.
You said skid marks. We're putting on skid plates.
Oh, you'll have skid marks when a rock takes out your oil pan because you didn't have skid plates on.
This is Wanderlust Overland.
Where the heck are we?
This can't be right.
Skid plates and rock sliders should be one of the first modifications you do to your off-road or overlanding rig.
And as it turns out, they're one of the easiest modifications to install. The stock plates are good for, say, hitting a bunny in the head, but that's all they're good for.
Yeah, all it takes is a big rock hiding in a mud puddle or a log getting kicked up to really ruin your day and possibly result in a hefty repair bill.
We went with what we believe to be the very best engineered and built skids on the market.
We've been using skid plates from RCI Offroad on our FJ with tremendous success. So it just stands to reason to stick with a proven winner.
The plates come with all new hardware, a removable plate to access the oil filter, a hole for the oil drain, and something we're especially impressed with, protection rings around the bolt heads. Check out these ribs added to the backside for extra strength. Well, let's get started by taking off the stock skid plates.
You're doing good. Keep going. Now when we put on our lift, our suspension lift from Toy Tech, we also installed their differential drop in the front. And with that comes these little bushings to lower the skid plate like a ½ inch or so. We have to reuse these.
We're going to put the front skid on first. That's where this floor jack comes in handy. The 4 M8x30 millimeter bolts that come with the RCI kit go in the front 2 holes and the middle 2 holes. And before we put them in, we put a little drop of Never-Seez on the ends of each one.
Now remember that bushing for our differential drop kit? That's it right there. You have to put that back in.
We're going to leave everything a little loose until we get all the skid plates on and all the bolts in. Next, we have 2 M8x40 millimeter bolts with nylon spacers that come with the RCI kit. Now these go in the back holes. We're not going to tighten these up all the way. In fact, we're going to leave about a ¼ inch gap so we can slide the transmission skid in. Before we can put on the transmission skid plate, we need to remove these 4 bolts from the cross members.
Now remember those bushings that we had on the back side of the engine skid? Those have to go above the transmission skid here, so I have to get in there and try to lift them up. We use a screwdriver. Okay, push. Okay, that one's in. Now we'll do the other side.
So these 4 longer bolts that RCI sends along, they take the place of the ones we just took out. In order to mount the transfer case skid, we first have to install the cross member that RCI sends along. Stop. It's gotta come this way. There. Okay. Now, on the driver's side, we had to take out the bolt from this bracket, and that's where the cross member is going to bolt into. So we're almost done. We just have to slide the transfer case skid up on top of the transmission skid. It's in. Now I'm going to put these 3 carriage bolts in with the lock nuts on top. That'll hold it all in place back here. To finish up, we're going back and making sure everything's nice and tight. Well, there you have it. Just a couple of hours of work, some hand tools, and our underside is protected.
That was a lot of hard work. I am tired.
We went with what we believe are the... Now you got me f***ing up.
I got
You too.